Good morning. Good morning. Morning one time. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm super unprepared. My power went out last evening and we had a wild storm last night. It was a long night and literally just came back like 10 minutes ago. So I am wildly unprepared. Yes, I will be here tomorrow morning. I haven't even had a chance to look at anything yet. Whew, we had a nice little sell-off there at the end of the day yesterday. Looks like we're opening up right where we closed yesterday. Let's see here. Is there anything in the economic calendar I needed to be aware of today? Probably not going to be going too hard this morning. I'm very, very unprepared, and I don't want to make mistakes. No, nothing. Cool. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, it looks fast. Like market basically one time straight down. No candles made higher highs or lows. Just straight send. Need to fix my volumes here. My music seems loud. There we go. All right. So the daily has pulled back in after we broke out. I wonder if our daily swing point will hold. It's like 46.24, or if that's what we're looking. We're kind of underneath pretty much everything else. Yeah, really, that's kind of all that zone through there is kind of all that's left for me. Never made it to the high. I guess it was just some continuation of the push from earlier in the day. Yeah, came all the way back down, broke the lows of the day. Failed to actually regain that one level that we held, and then boom, went again. Wowzers. We have consistent pressure so far at the open. Leave that there for now. Only checked below that swing point by 2 ticks. Found some liquidity, profit taking. A little bit of a rally back up. Retesting the underside of that opening little range there. Looks like it wants to keep going higher. Yeah. Wonder if we'll regain our high a day. If we regain our high a day, that'll put us back up over here. A little bit of price action to get above, and then we have a pretty big shoot again. Testing our high a day, short opportunity off high a day, but I don't know, it's not really looking like a nice looking trade. Came back there pretty aggressively. Maybe we recover some of that move. Nice, break a new high a day. Little clean reversal there, eh? Just try once, check a low, immediately come back, kind of a little W. Straight up after that. Okay. So we'll put this as a long location for now. See if we hold above. Made it above that. We've got these few points in here. Mark 89. See if we can get above it. It's a little bit of room above us to get to that. We got the undersides maybe, depending on what they want to use, but never did come back and check. So there's a little bit of a void area there. Let's see how it goes. Looking relatively strong right now. Inside candle. Oh, we got a pullback candle. Doesn't look too bad so far for holding above what we've gained here on high a day. It can successfully hold this step. Yeah, another new high. I did a little bit of a review yesterday afternoon before I lost power, and I wrote down all the things that went well and the things that went poor out of the last 2 weeks. I did find a few similarities, a few themes that were reoccurring. So I'm going to try to make a conscious effort to correct a few of those. I noticed that my two-legged pullback setup I use for longing and shorting, when it happens to the short side, it seems to go much, much quicker and faster, and I could always get significantly more out of the trade than I expect. With very minimal pullback, it kind of goes when it goes down. When it goes up, it was kind of like it grinds a little bit slower. But yeah, when that trade worked to the short side, it were phenomenal trades. So I'm going to keep that in mind, that when that setup truly forms to the short side, to try to increase my risk to reward. I noticed that. I also noticed, and I talked about it many times, there were multiple occurrences where I would start the day and that first trade, well, okay, so this is kind of how I've noticed it going. I have an emotional response regardless of if it's a win or a loss. If it's a win, I'm very timid to want to risk that money and take another trade. Almost like I want to keep that money that I made. But if it's a loss, I'm not like that at all. I will have no problem taking that next trade. So there are days where I can easily string together a few losers, but there's really not any days that I can string together a few winners. And it's not because they weren't there, it's because I failed to take the trades. Like, the trade setups happened, I just didn't take them. Fear reaction is faster than greed. Yeah, there you go, exactly. So those were a few things that I noticed that drastically affect my P&L. So I'm going to really try to make that adjustment. Yesterday, even though my flip-flopping yesterday during that time period there of 20 minutes did cost me a couple L's, I was actually pretty happy with how I did it. Now, yeah, I did get caught flip-flopping back and forth in a range a few times, but out of those 4 trades, the first 3 I managed exactly like I was supposed to. The 4th one I kind of flubbed a little bit, but those first 3 I was proud that I did that, because before I would have just waited for either a target or a stop to get hit and not really read the price action that was happening instantly after I got into the trade and made the adjustment, because I understood what was happening. So I was pretty happy that I did that. And I did that solely based off of a few other events that had happened in the last 2 weeks. Same thing, where I had noticed that I would know that something bad was happening or something good was happening, and I would fail to make the adjustment quickly, and it would cost me maybe a trade opportunity, or cost me a profit target or a stop loss, something. It would cause a negative result. So I almost like overcompensated for that yesterday, and like every time that I saw that start to happen, I would like flip my position, or but anyways, so that was good. Yeah, it didn't pan out the best in that situation, but in general I think adjusting like that will help me more than cause me pain. So a few little things I noticed relatively quickly. A little bit of a pullback, so we did break above. So now we've achieved basically breaking above all of this stuff. And I mean, we could retest this underside maybe, but we may get a decent move back up through this. It came down through it very quickly. Not really too concerned with a lot of these levels through here. It's mainly this pivot point area up here and maybe this area down here. It's the first candle to make a new high. High 1 setup. We just kind of broke into that larger liquidity pool for me. It's pretty bullish still. However, I don't know that I really want to take a high 1 at this location. I would have rathered a little bit of a hesitation. Preferably a 2-legged pullback would be phenomenal. Not the greatest signal candle. This one here was okay for sure. Certainly trying. Yeah, there's a new high. Three tick high. I'm surprised after that big of a sell-off at the end of yesterday. I mean, we opened literally exactly where we closed. That's pretty cool. Like, just glancing at the chart quickly, it just kind of looks like we're V'ing now. Taking out overnight price action. This is definitely this is a strong push. These high one entries in this type of market make sense. I don't like this one because of the location, but it did work. Getting close to that underside, 97.75. Somewhere through there. Maybe some profit taking will happen if we make it that far. But those are the two areas, that area and then maybe more so towards the top. Not too concerned about the middle, but move down through it was instant, so But I think we'll reference those two swing areas as potential resistance overhead. Have a good day, man. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you tomorrow. Getting a little bit of a pullback here. Okay, 5 minute pulled back below our 1 minute support. So we've achieved that for the 5 minute pullback. A little bit of a steeper pullback. Had really decent push up. I wonder if buyers stepped off a little bit. That strong of a push up, I'm surprised that a sell-off was that aggressive already. Kind of almost took half the move back, really. Did get 3 legs up. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we see a 2-legged, larger 2-legged pullback. I wasn't expecting it to be that large, but like, you know, maybe we come test the tops here and test the moving average. After looking at this, I almost, especially with the leading price action, it almost makes me want to be watching for a short here. Got 5 candles in a row to the short side. See what happens here. Hmm. If we got the right signal, I would take a short, and then I would be just cautious that we don't get a 1-tick poke below. We're still above the moving average here on this 5-minute, so we should get some support from it. Maybe not enough, but enough to maybe a little bit cause hesitation. So taking a short rate into it, maybe not in my favor. I'd rather have a long. Well, it was a good short. 4-point move already. Wow. Pushing right through the moving average, no problem. Dang. Yeah, I guess the tell was that the way that pullback formed, and we know that we've been in a little bit of a seller market. We did get a nice push up, but that pullback was fairly strong. That was giving us a little bit of a hint. So the one thing that I did notice so far this morning is that these high 1 entries, they all did work. I just had to approach them slightly different than kind of how I do it. I need to start paying more attention to that. Normally I would buy above or below the first candle to make a high or low, but the one thing I'm finding is that, especially in my review, that candle that ends up making the high or the low almost ends up pushing right to the extreme. Like here, right? You buy above the candle to make a high, well, it means you're buying up here. Really, if you bought above that buy up candle, you know, you have a much bigger risk to reward. Same thing here. Same thing now here. You're getting into the position as it's the first candle to make a high or a low. Jeez. But it only works in this type of environment when price is very aggressive and volatile. Wowzers. Well, we definitely didn't get the one tick poke that made me look for the long. So we're back at low a day. May get some profit taking here. Maybe they'll be pretty aggressive with it and check below it right away. Little flicker buy there. Ooh, the old one tick above the buy up candle, eh? One tick. Oh no. Power's flickering again. Please, no. That one tick above that buy up candle and then instant pressure the other direction. Probably triggered some buy systems, some people trapped. A limit order here, risking off that top swing would be okay for sure, as people should be trying to get out of their trade as this is coming up. Yeah, it looks like we're getting that nice. Trying to hold the higher low. I don't have confidence in that at all. All right, we got another extension. Well, we pretty much we V'd straight back down now on this 5-minute chart. Does our low a day hold against this V? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Little reversal setup trying to form here. Whew. The moving average rejection quick. There would be some longs in this market trapped now in theory off of that pattern if the market wanted to squeeze them out for the momentum to push a new low day. I do have a W reversal that completed. It broke above the top. Now, do we hold this 79.25 level here and fail? Or do we climb higher? The volatility today is high enough that the candles are quite large. Limit ordering kind of the only way to get decent risk. For me, risk is getting quite large because the size of candles are quite large. We got like 5.5 points of risk to get into that trade right there, which is just too big for me. So the retest of the W low. If we can hold and regain 79.50, then I mean we may see a push straight back up, because that's kind of showing a reversal at the low a day. It's holding. We'd be regaining the moving average again. But if it fails here, it's likely going to be enough people trapped that maybe we get a stop out slide to push low a day. Consolidating here. Did we go lower? No, not yet. There we go. So now we're really testing the low. Successfully done a two-legged pullback now after that W formed. Don't know that that shows huge strength, but might get our slide. The approach to the low a day, I mean, we knew there would be some congestion down here. Fully expected it. That pattern that got presented as a W, I mean, it failed. I mean, it completed the pattern, but it failed right as soon as it broke above at the moving average. Definitely could be a clean trap. You got a two bar trying to form here after this two-legged pullback. No tail under. It's not the worst reaction, that's for sure. Right back into that little congestion area though, touching the moving average again. difficult trading range here. Two trade scenarios you could be playing. I mean, you could be playing the long off this reversal pattern, or I feel like the short is the better trade though. Hoping that it squeezes these longs out for a new low a day. Really struggling to even get back up above the moving average. Yep. And very much anticipated that. There's our new low a day. Good read. Great read. Thought about limit ordering up on this moving average in one of these times. Made sense to me. Don't really have a trade set up for doing so though. So we got a break of a new low a day. Do we continue to the downside, or do we just test below low a day and then kind of mosey back up in? Got too big of a tail at the bottom here for me to read this as a good reversal bar. I'll keep going. To the downside, I guess I should look at, never even marked out any price action spots to watch for the downside. I mean, we got our overnight low at 50, which is, I mean, that's our daily low so far. We've got these small points here. We tested under that at the open. We're under it. I mean, that's kind of our next area, really. Got these small little pivot points, but ultimately somewhere in this zone. And then on the daily chart, really what we got left for me is the actual swing point. Maybe our sell-off continues. I mean, this pattern on the daily chart is pretty top heavy. Looks like a pretty strong topping pattern, really, for now anyway. Could play out. like that. It attempted to hold and then tested just below it. Yeah. Then got the opposite reaction. Probably test above here, I would assume. He's never actually pulled back on this time frame. Yeah, there we go. That would have been the target from that. Straight back to the moving average. Should circle that. I really liked that setup right there. Noticed these happening a lot lately. I'm gonna do a little second push up. Maybe not. Quick test of the moving average and back down we go. Let's see if we one tick poke below this little bit of bullishness that happened right here, or if we slide right past it. They may attempt another long setup. $46.60. Not interested in any kind of higher to low setup. But if we get a 1 or 2 tick poke and a bullish reaction, I would take a shot at a long. But it would have to present that way. Double bottom so far. We had good reaction right here, so it's the only reason that I'm somewhat interested if this happens correctly. Well, it's more than a 1 tick poke, that's for sure. The whole point. Disqualified that theory. We may just continue to get more selling. I really like that this candle has no bottom wick. Actually like it a lot for a 2-bar play. That triggers the trade. I'm going to take this cheaper entry retest right now. Let's see. Not the follow through that you'd look for, but not yet. We'll see how this candle closes. I really like that it has no bottom wick. Means that that could be read as an exhaustion candle, sell off underneath. Did get some stop outside. And then the next candle was immediate rejection of the low. We'll see. If we can regain 65.50, then we'll have held the retest. A little push. All right, there's my exit. Perfect. Nice little scalp. Coming back, retesting entries. I kind of want to buy again. I do. See 150. I'm gonna risk what we made to buy again. Could be the wrong decision, but kind of think that it's gonna come higher. This is like the retest of the entries, and then it might regain the moving average here. Got my 2 ticks. We're good. That's not the reaction that we wanted for sure, but gonna be patient. Retesting a little lower. Definitely not the squeeze up that I thought we were about to get. I probably am wrong. Got 30 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. I didn't close the greatest. Definitely not the follow through that we wanted. I like the reaction down here enough that be watching if a 1 tick poke happened, or maybe it'll hold a double bottom. My stop's 2 ticks, so I'm still okay. We regain right here. Can we break 66.75? Trying. Double topped to the tick. Can we gain it? Nice. Okay. I'm gonna cut this again. So now we've potentially put in a W. I managed that a little poorly. I really should still be in this trade. But the reason that I wanted to close it was because in my head, the reason that I took it the first time was I kind of already told myself that I was wrong. So I got an opportunity to get out. I didn't want to lose that opportunity. But because we've completed the W, or trying to again, I would look to buy a pullback, anticipating the second leg up. Because in theory, I'd want to hold for 2 pushes off of a W entry. Mind you, the entry that I took wasn't for a W, so. Really like those 2 bars when there's no wicks on the bottom. When there's no wicks on the bottom side, that tells something I noticed in my review. It tells a very strong direction, because price, when it switched to the next time, price didn't go the opposite way at all. So you've got that last little bit of a push underneath that key level, and then the next candle instantly, like the algos pushed it, like they bought it. There was no indecision the opposite direction. The reason that I played that situation the way I did was totally off of that review from yesterday. So this is where a pullback entry has to be a decision, I guess. Do we think that the 1 minute chart is going to hold a W now, or do we think at the 5 minute chart came up and tested like a great liquidity area and now may sell back off? We are definitely been in a seller's market. That dip buy looking all right. So if I was in a W trade, this would be allowing me to alter some risk up to this new swing point if we continued. It's a great looking bar. See how they close it. No wick below. It's trying to test below, that's for sure. Let's see if it holds. Yeah. Looks good. Great read. Same concept, no wick. Quick dip sell off, same thing. Next candle, closed, full, like nice big body, no underside wick. A little bit of a retest here. Some entries. We're gonna test below. See if we get a one tick poke here. Oh. Okay. I almost FOMO'd limit long right here on this little bit of a pullback, but I really fought it because it wasn't you know, it wasn't really what I wanted to trade for price action. I liked that bar, and it did give a retest of the high, but the reaction was poor. So it looks like we are coming down to go again. Yep. Testing below, only by one tick so far. See what happens here. Getting a bullish reaction so far. This might be signaling another trade entry here. It's coming back down, retest. If it can hold the one tick and close bullish, it's testing again. It never fired up. No, okay, canceled the trade. It's close. Close. So we are continuing down. I can move my short line down. That's why I took quick profit taking through here, was just because I'm kind of just playing a little bit of a supply imbalance spring, you know. That's it. I'm not really not looking for a big trend reversal. It was more like, you know, the trend, we've gone down quite a bit and we're getting some opposite nice signals, so it's a good quick like scalp opportunity, especially because the point, like, it's easy to get a couple points right now if you can quickly grab that imbalance. Market's moving, so we are still continuing down. A little bit of a volume grow on that last candle. See if this next candle does the same thing. Kind of growing volume on this push down. We might be actually finally trying to get down here a little bit. Our overnight low is getting closer and closer. Moving average on the daily is around 44, 45. Kind of one time into the downside here, really trying to push to test our overnight low. We're below all these little levels. We're kind of in this zone here. It's the only swing point left for us to check under from here. So the similar trade actually happened twice here. Even though I was able to scalp out some longs here, really the better trades were short still. Really respecting that 20 moving average. Right, if you were looking for extensions, the better trades were to the downside. Both times that the 1 minute chart had put in a W, it then proceeded to fail. Put in the W, it did the same thing really, right? We popped the W, never actually got higher. We did a pullback, made a lower high, and then sold. We got the W, got the pullback, a little bit of a bigger pullback, popped, made a lower high, failed. It's the exact same pattern here. Testing our overnight low, I think right now too, pretty much the tick, maybe a tick higher. There we go. All right, so we broke underneath. We can remove that line. Selling pressure is continuing. So if we take a peek on our hourly chart here, I think we better. All the way back down underneath now. This becomes a pretty important level. And also I will mark it yellow. I mean, I don't know, the way that we're going, I think this market's goal is to get below here and kind of create a larger reversal potential pattern. That's kind of what it looks like to me, which I believe is this, it's this daily low. Getting a little bit of a 2-bar here. It's quite a push down. Minimal tail again. One tick worth of tail on this one. Stop out would have been 48.50. Yeah, so it was a full 4-point stop on this trade setup. I would have risked pretty much my whole daily profit to get into this trade. You are 1-to-1 now. You've got your 4 points. Be looking to take this back to the moving average, is what we were looking for. Kind of where price expanded a little bit too far. Slight imbalance here. Quick snap back to the moving average. Kind of get a 2-bar now the opposite way. Slurped that right up though. We're gonna go a little higher. Still, it's kind of flat topping still. There we go. Nice. Price respected that bottom 2-bar pretty well. The reason I didn't apply the same theory here at all is because that's kind of designed for when price is like stretched away from the mean, right? As we came back in here, it's not the same thing. You want to do it as it's like a long ways away, right? Market's pulling down, we getting these pushes down, you take it back up in. Or if market was going way up, you could take it back down in. So we had achieved, right, where we were going to test first anyway. And then, like I said, to me, like this moving average, depending on how today goes, will kind of curl up in and almost be a touch. And this buy up maybe lasts for a little while, or maybe our selling pressure steps back in. But this is definitely much stronger of a buy up than we've had so far, other than first thing this morning. So that's 100% worth noting. Back up into this range here. Didn't fail at the underside at all. So pretty high likely that we're going to test the top side of it. And at that point, we're going to be V right to the top side of the previous resistance. Pretty likely that we will check the other side of it if that's how it plays out. We've got a one timing push happening now. Growing volume, big candles, strong bull bars. These were really good entries. I need to really focus on that one timing entry and adjust it a little bit. And I felt that way through my review and for the last couple of weeks that my entry system for it is too late. The principle behind why I'm getting into it is there, but the entry style is a little bit too late. It's always too late. With a little adjustment, I could tweak that and make that substantially better. And the reason that those are so good too is because it's the first pullback in between legs 1 and 2. And between legs 1 and 2, I allow myself to take that measured move, and both of them gave nice measured moves. Really nice, actually. Well, there's definitely an imbalance down here. Snapped right back up in. We're testing the top side of this little range here now, off of what looks to be a V. We could test above it relatively quickly. There it is. Test above the range. We're gonna be moving our thoughts to maybe this way. Got a nice V back up. Broke above the moving average now. Nice strong rally. So we have this level up here. We got the underside through here and the top side. I need to take a sec here and open my Bitcoin stuff. So we achieved that push. We're getting our little bit of a pullback now, to be expected, right? So for this push, we got a 1, 2, 3 push, broke up above. A nice little pullback with a 2-legged setup. I would be interested into the long side, but it would have to set up perfectly because we're getting a little bit later in the session for me. And, you know, I'm only risking the capital that I've made if it's right. It's got to be right. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry, I just had to do a little bit of position management there of my Bitcoin. Okay. So this is our first pullback, first attempt. Not interested in the first attempt. This is actually going to give me the perfect opportunity to go to the washroom real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, looks like we're getting the start of the second leg down. Holding a double bottom so far. More interested if it went lower. I swear it's like my music gets louder as the stream goes on. I have stuff set so low too. How much lower it could go. It might just go off a double bottom. It doesn't want to get back too far away from that moving average, maybe. Trying to regain it. Got a double bottom reversal now on the 1 minute that's triggered. Yeah, it looks like that might be how it plays out. Second leg did happen. Just produced a double bottom instead. There you go. Yeah, was really interested in a long opportunity, but didn't quite develop the way that I wanted. But it made sense, right? Demand was really high. Didn't ever end up even making a lower low on the second leg. We've approached that next zone, kind of right in the middle of it right now. We are getting a 2-bar potential reversal, very minimal tail here. There's your 2-point scalp. Yeah. It was a good trade. Price extended, right? We're starting to stretch back up. We're into other resistance areas. Good opportunity for a pullback. Strong reaction so far off that level though, which was, I mean, expected, right? Right back to the entry. We know this market is trying to V, so a retest of that moving average. What a reaction. Would have had to have had a limit order down resting to be involved in that move. That did only 1 tick extend. Not what we'd want to see off that spring like that. Ooh, it's going backwards so far though. But it's a huge risk to get in. The next candle did trigger the entry. That is a trigger signal for a trade right there. That 1 tick poke like that, instant rejection, follow through right away. Yep. Kind of stuck with that emotional response again. That trade setup was nice, but I'd have to risk my full day's profits to get into it, and I've been presented with that now a couple times. This one here too. And like, that's such a improper play, because I mean, if I was a systematic approach and removed that emotion, Like you're in another good size winner here and another winner from here. Like my daily, this is one of the things that I noticed in my review that I wrote down, was that psychological hurdle of like not wanting to re-risk those profits is preventing me from getting multiple winners. Yep. Happened at a nice spot, right? For resistance. It was a quick move too, so like that one tick poke is even better. It'd be just as quick going the other direction in theory. Lots of misses today, which I kind of expected. The fact that I'm green at all is a little bit of surprising because I was not prepared going into today. I did not. My morning routine was completely different and not proper whatsoever. We had power outages till like for the last 14 hours. My power came back on like 15 minutes before market open. And your boy was not ready. Yeah. I think I'm going to do my review on the day and I'm going to call it. I have a pretty bad headache. I don't feel too well. Very tired. Just not good conditions for me to be trading, so I'm gonna take my green day and I'm gonna walk away. I do want to do quite a review though here. Turn my music off for the review. Helps me find it in the video at a later date for me to know when to start my review. Can jump to that part of the video. Anyways, so we opened up this morning and we had quite a sell-off at the end of yesterday, but market opened basically exactly where we closed. Had a little bit of continuation this morning, and then we put in a little bit of a reversal pattern. The market did react to it very bullishly. One time straight back up, broke above high of day, got a high one entry. Could have taken a measured move out of it. Beautiful trade. Got a little pullback here. Same thing. Another high one. It went up. Not as strong as a signal for me because it's leg 3. I really look for it to be between the first push and the second push. Then we had some sell pressure step in at a great location. We knew looking to the left, we had some overnight swing points up through here, and then it was quite a gap between areas. So it checked just above them. It was a little bit more than just above them, I guess, but it broke into that liquidity area, and then we struggled, and we sold back down quite aggressively. Aggressively enough that looking at the chart when we were here, I was more interested in looking for a short than I was a long. And we qualified 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 4 candles in a row, but very bearish one-time push straight down. Now, we were under the moving average. The 5-minute chart now had tested that liquidity area and was reacting quite negatively. Looking at it, we had already taken back like almost half of the move. Same 1 leg, 2 leg theory as we had early on. And then shorting as it's the first candle to make a low. In this case, first candle to make a high. Now this signal candle for the buy was significantly better than this signal candle. So realistically, may have not taken that trade. If I probably wouldn't have. But I wasn't interested in taking the long either from this location because I could tell that it already pulled back more than it should have if this updrive was going to continue. So moving on, come down here, not any price action that I was super interested in. We knew in my mind that I was, oh, nice little pushback, a straight back up, eh? Got pullback below the 1 minute resistance levels or support levels. No real signal there at all. We knew that we had came all the way back down and we were now testing the low a day. Market didn't have enough oomph to get through right away, so it ended up creating a little bit of a reversal pattern and then ultimately failing in here into this moving average. Now, as this was happening, that was the side that I was leaning on. I was more interested in. Like I was totally reading this as, we're doing this, creating a trap, gonna get some people long trapped, and then ultimately squeeze them out to push a new low a day. It's exactly how it happened out. Down here, this was really good to go back and actually watch it happen live because we had an interesting reaction. One thing that I am noticing a lot is my high one strategy off of that inside candle rather than a pullback. It's often lately a better signal for the opposite direction than continuation. So we get that inside candle, little slowdown. Price when it was going live came down, checked just below it, and then instantly flicker sold or bought right back up. That's a decent long scalp opportunity to take that back the other direction. Price is rejecting this level for a little move back up. Prices, were extended. It's a good mean reversion opportunity. And I felt that a lot lately, that high one inside opportunity is almost a better signal for the opposite direction rather than continuation. Which I think if I continue to see it develop this way, it's funny that what I would used to use as a continuation strategy almost continuously in the last month, I will say that I've noticed it almost be a much better mean reversion signal. It doesn't have a lot of success. It's almost like a better trap reverse signal. Anyway, so again, big worth noting. And moving on again, we continue out, no trade signal, and then we got to here. We knew that there was some long interest in here. We've now broken below low a day. Maybe price goes stagnant and then comes back up in. We weren't sure, but watching the price action because of what happened here, and then we checked just below it. And then this is what I've learned recently that I noticed a lot happening. When these two bars happen on price extension and the signal bar has little to no tail, it is relatively strong signal. I took this trade through limit order. Price ended up triggering the trade and then started to pull back, and I joined bid to get a little bit of a cheaper price. Trade signal did happen, got a little bit of a cheaper price, stopped just below. As we started to pop up, I was expecting, resistance, and so I quickly took it. Like I was just trying to do it as a scalp, right? And then I wanted to get back in again. So as price started to come back down in and retest, which I anticipated that it would do, I joined bid again right here. Now this was a little bit too early because I ended up sitting then the pullback, but it held the bottom and it popped back up. Again, I was just looking for this to be a scalp pop. Now this did not react the way that I anticipated it to. So when this market came back up and started to get to above the moving average and go stagnant, I exited the trade on the push, just anticipating, potential further stalling. The market was downtrending at this point. Yes, we were in an area of accumulation, but I wasn't convinced of a full reversal or anything like that at this point. It's not what I was going for these trades. They were just, imbalance, mean reversion scalps back up in. Nice 2-bar. And then ultimately I could have held this trade for the further exit, but I'm noticing more and more that you can almost get two out of it. You get the initial little push and I can sell, and then on the retest I could just get in again and sell again. So that's how I played it, and worked out great. Happy that that's how I played it. My stop loss was in the right location. I will say maybe I got a little bit lucky that it held a double bottom. I did have a couple ticks extra room, so it could have done a one tick poke or something if it wanted to, and I still would have been okay with the trade. So that was the trades that I ended up taking. After that, the market did continue to the downside in a very similar fashion that it did here. We did a 1 minute reversal and then never went higher. It just slowly accumulated down, made a higher low, and then went. Same thing here. We did a 1 minute W reversal, gave the pullback to retest, looking for a move back up. Never happened. Price made a lower high, ultimately sold back down again. So we were chilling, and then this happened. We had a nice 2-bar down here, and this actually happened after we had achieved our push below our overnight low. So again, another area of liquidity that makes sense for possible profit taking and maybe longs. We had a nice 2-bar with 1 tick of wick and thought about it. Same principle. I didn't get involved because made some money. Wasn't sure if I wanted to risk most of what I had made on the next trade, and struggled to do so. Trade did work out nicely for a move back up, and I would have ended up scalping out somewhere up here. I would not have held through that pullback. So it gave like a nice 4 or 5 point push. Now, this market then continued up quite aggressively. So it ended up being a decent entry for, you know, quite a move. I wouldn't have held it for that though. Although looking at it, right, maybe you could argue that you should have started to, because that is quite a strong move back up. But because of the momentum that's been in this market in the last 48 hours to the downside, I would have, I mean, especially then because we got a 2-bar reversal signal to the downside coming off the moving average, it just made more sense to me to just would have scalped it out near the moving average, right? We were playing that like price extension, mean reversion back up in. And then if I would have gotten a good signal up here for a reversal, then probably would have gotten back into the other side. The reason that I would not take that as a 2-bar reversal signal for the downside is because I like that to happen at price extension, like further away, right? This is coming back up into the mean. I wasn't looking for, I would have wanted to see like a 2-legged pullback and then get into the downside or something like that. That wasn't a short signal for me. That's why I was watching to see if this did like a 1-tick poke, but it never did. It was very bullish looking and then spiked. Anyways, not a trade signal through here for us. And then on this pullback right here, I was watching for a 2-legged pullback. 2-legged pullback happened. However, it did a equal low. It double bottomed and then went. It did not poke through. It never made a second leg down to the moving average, which is where I was ultimately looking. The demand was too high and we spiked up again. After price had spiked up again, oh, look at that 1-tick poke, eh? Those 1-tick pokes. Mind you, the signal bar after the 1-tick poke was gigantic. No way I could have got into anything like that. Right. So here, price has now recovered quite a bit. We moved all the way back up. We broke above our 5-minute level and we're back testing this next level. I was looking at this 2-bar reversal for a possible short entry for a scalp back down to the moving average. But again, didn't take it. It wasn't the greatest 2-bar. It did have minimal wick, but wasn't you know, as good looking as some of the other ones, and price was extremely bullish leading up to, so I was a little nervous. Same thing though, did work right back to the moving average. It did get bought up super aggressively though, And then this second event happened where we got a 1-tick poke, instant rejection. Wanted to short here. Got a beautiful correction move back down. Didn't though, because same concept again. Didn't want to lose the money that I had already made. And I go through this little bit of thought process where I miss a few trades in a row that work. In the past, that has equaled frustration. And then I tend to end up finally convincing myself to take one, and then that one almost always ended up losing. So I've created like an artificial problem for myself now. My brain automatically goes there, and I'm like, oh, I've already missed 2 or 3 trades in a row that worked. Like, the next one's gonna obviously lose. So I never end up taking it. I never take that next trade. And then I end up getting a whole bunch that work, and then, you know, now I'm frustrated for a different reason. It is a problem, and it is something that I see it happening and I feel it happening. I just haven't quite overcame it. And when I successfully do, that will be a huge turning point for me as a trader, because I mean, that is one of my biggest issues right now. Has been for quite some time, if I'm being honest. That's why I'm trying to do this live this time, and like basically video documentary myself going through this process, so I can, it's like a better journaling system for myself. I feel it's keeping me more disciplined. It's keeping me with more evidence and journaling and everything. I'm really hoping it will help me overcome this issue, because I'm growing confidence, seeing that like if I were to just be taking the setups that are proper, like, yeah, I'm risking the money that I've made, but I would have doubled it. So, but yeah, moving on. And then that was when I called it, I guess. That was the last trade of the day. Still got nice bullish stuff happening here, but I'm not too interested anymore. Getting into the market today was extremely difficult. It was a very off day for me. So I'm happy that I didn't make a whole bunch of mistakes. Took me a little while to get into the groove, and then did a couple scalps. But ultimately I did make mistakes because I did miss good trade setups. Great trade setups. Missing a good trade setup is probably, I mean, for me, psychologically, even worse than taking an L, So, again, some things to work on. It all kind of stems back to that same not really having true confidence in the system and believing in it, and not wanting to continue trading after I made some money. And so it's a work in progress. But we're getting there. We're learning. We're getting better. I definitely am aware. At least I have the self-awareness to notice that. So that's one of the steps. Now I just need to be a doer, and I need to correct it. I need to work on correcting it. So I'm hoping that if I continue to make these analysis and realize that that's what's happening, I can grow the confidence to overcome it and really get that systematic approach where it's like, all right, trade signal, you take it. Doesn't matter. The trade signal's there, it's proper, it matches everything, it's a go. Okay, you go. That's how it's got to be. But yeah, good day. I will be here again first thing tomorrow morning. If you are still trading for the rest of your day, trade safe, trade smart. See you guys same time tomorrow morning. And I won't be tired and late tomorrow. I mean, in theory. It is still storming very bad outside. So hopefully I don't lose power again. Power actually flickered while we were trading, and I was like, oh, but no, it held out. So, all right, have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye-bye.